My name is Kayla Cloud and I'll be doing domain and range and parent functions. Domain is a set of all possible values for the input of a relation, or x. Range is a set of all possible values for the output of a relation, or y. First, roster notation is a list of all possible values and non-continuous functions. So say you had the points 0, 1, 1, 2, and 2, 3. You would then get all the x values and write them. That's the domain. So domain. Put them in these parentheses, otherwise it's wrong. And that's your answer for domain. And then for range, you would just do the y values. And then there is inequality notation. Inequality notation uses lower barrier, upper barrier, and inequalities to define a domain and range. So say you had a graph. And you had the points 3, 3, and -2, 3. For the domain, you would once again get the x, and you would put the -2 first because it's a smaller number. So -2, and since the circle is enclosed, it's greater than or less than or equal to x, and x is less than or equal to 3. And then for range, you would put 3 is less than or equal to x is less than or equal to 3. And then there is interval notation, which, hold on. Which uses inequality notation, and it uses brackets in the place of less than or equal to or greater than or equal to, and it uses parentheses in the place of less than or greater than. So if we had the same problem, then it would be bracket -2, 3, bracket. And that is interval notation. And then set notation, it works for both continuous and non-continuous functions. So the same problem again. And then you would put these brackets, and then you put x is the element of all real numbers such that, and then you put this equation. -2 is less than or equal to x is less than or equal to 3, and then you close it. And then the parent functions. Linear, y equals x. The domain is -infinity to infinity, and range is -infinity to infinity. Then there's quadratic, y equals x squared. Domain is -infinity to infinity. Range is 0 to infinity. You don't include infinity, so you just put the parentheses. And square root is y equals the square root of x. And domain is 0 infinity, and range is 0 infinity. And rational is y equals 1 over x. Domain is -infinity, 0. Range is -infinity, 0. In cubic, y equals x cubed. Domain is -infinity, infinity, and range is -infinity, infinity. Cube root is y equals the cube root of x. So domain is -infinity, infinity. Range is -infinity, infinity. And that's it. Exponential is y equals 2 to the power of x, whatever x is. And the domain is -infinity, infinity. The range is -infinity, infinity. And then there's logarithmic, so y equals log x. Domain is 0, infinity. Range is 0, infinity. And then there's absolute value, so y equals the absolute value of x. And the domain is negative infinity, infinity, and the range is 0, infinity. So the first problem, what is the domain and range of this graph? It's just the basic graph, so it would be, the domain would be infinity, negative infinity, comma infinity, because it goes on forever. And the range would be 0, since that's the lowest point. So you include 0, so you have a bracket. And then it's 0, comma infinity. And then it says put this in inequality notation, and it's bracket 3, comma infinity, parentheses. So it would be 3 is less than or equal to x is less than infinity. And then find the range of this graph. So the range would be 4 is less than or equal to x is less than infinity. And then finally, I'm going to write this in set notation. So x is the element of all real numbers such that, and then you would just put what was in those brackets. So 3, 7, and 10. And that's your answer. And that's how to do domain and range and parent functions. Thank you.